Hey everyone, today we are diving into a hot topic in the software architecture world, that is microservices versus monolithic. If you have been in the tech for a while, you are probably heard a lot about both of these architecture. But which one is the right choice for your project? Well, that's what we are going to unpack today. First of all, I would like to share what I felt just a few days ago. I was all in on microservices. I honestly thought they were the ultimate solution. Like why would anyone ever choose monolith? Because if we can say scalability or flexibility wise, it's good to use microservices. And also today we can see everywhere everyone is talking about microservices. But then during my interview, a recruiter asked me a simple question: why monolith and not microservices? And I was like, oh, easy. I listed all the advantages of microservices, but later it hit me. And I felt I was not being fair. I was totally ignoring the strength of monolith. And let's be real. If so many successful companies are still using monolith system, there must be a reason, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to argue that monolith is always the right choice. Instead, we are going to explore how both architecture have their strengths. As a software engineer, it's crucial to understand when to use each one and how to choose the right fit for our project. That's what we are going to dive today. Let's start with monolithics. A monolithic application is like a giant block where all parts of the application are built and packaged together. Everything is tightly connected, meaning all the features or functionalities of the system must be deployed at the same time as one big unit. You can see in this diagram where everything from the UI to business logic to data access layer is built as a single unit. It's like a big cohesive package. If you are working on a project where that project requires to be tightly coupled, then this architecture is best to go. I would like to share an interesting story about Amazon Prime Video and their journey with monolithic and microservices architecture. It really surprised me and I would like to share it with you. Initially, Amazon Prime Video used a monolithic system where everything from video processing to monitoring and detection ran in one single code base. While it worked fine early, as the platform grew, the system could not keep up. Scaling was tough since they had to scale everything together, and debugging was a nightmare. So they decided to switch to microservices, which was the industry trend. With microservices, they split the system into smaller parts like one service for video analysis and another for audio detection. These services communicate through AWS step function, and at first things seemed better, but soon problem emerged. Passing video and audio between services caused delays and increased cost. AWS step function added extra expense and slowed things down. The system could not handle 90% of the expected load during peak time. Their attempt to scale ended up creating more challenges than it solved. Amazon made a bold decision. They went back to monolithic design, but with improvements. They combined all the tasks from video processing, issue detection, and orchestration into a single workflow. Instead of transferring data over network or storing it in S3, they kept in memory, making the system faster and cheaper. They ran multiple instances of the monolith to handle more streams. This new approach saved their cost by 90% and let them handle thousands of streams without any issue. This story shows that while microservices can be useful, they are not always the best solution for tightly tasks. A well-designed monolithic can be simpler, faster, and more cost-effective. So the next time when you are deciding between microservice and monolithic, think carefully about what your system really needs. Now let's discuss some more examples why choose monolithic. Think of it like getting your startup off the ground. If you have a small team and wanted to get market quickly, a monolithic is the perfect choice because it is easy to develop and deploy initially, especially for smaller applications. The entire application is tightly integrated, making it simpler to manage and debug. If your application is small and does not need any advanced feature like high scalability or flexibility, a monolithic is a good option. At the same time, it has its own disadvantages. Let's understand with the help of example. Imagine a set of apartments where all the electricity is controlled by one central switch. If one apartment needs a change in wiring, you would have to sort off electricity for the entire building instead of just fixing that one apartment, and it is not good choice, right? If I talk about its disadvantages, it is inefficiency. Shutting down the entire building electricity consumes unnecessary time and effort when only one apartment needs attention. And also maintenance because more labor intensive and costly as you must ensure other apartments are not affected unintentionally. Again, I would like to say microservices or monolithic. It's always depend on your business needs. Microservices are like small independent parts of a large system that can talk to each other over a network. Each part or microservices has its own job and can work independently without depending too much on others. You can see in this diagram where everything from the front end to back end have their own services, have separate databases, and they are communicating through APIs. This architecture breaks down the applications into smaller independent services that each perform a specific function. You can scale, deploy, and update them individually. Microservices are a great choice for complex systems that need to adapt and grow over time. Let's take the example of a large e-commerce platform. In such a platform, different parts of the system like logging user, handling payments, managing the product catalog, and processing order are managed by separate services. The real advantage is that as your business grows, you can scale only that part that need it. For example, during a festival season, when more people are placing order, you can scale up just the order service to handle the increased load without changing or overloading other parts of the system. This setup is called Microservices Architecture, which makes the system easier to maintain, scale, and improve. Each services is responsible for one business function, like account management, inventory, or shipping. It has its own databases. These services work together through a central API gateway, which directs user requests to the right service. Again, I would like to say microservices or monolith. It totally depends on your business requirements. Let me wrap up with a quick discussion on when to use monolithic and when to use microservices. If your business is in early stage and you are still validating your ideas or creating a simple application, a monolithic is probably the better choice. It's easier to manage and you can move fast. But if you are building a platform with multiple user journey and complex workflows and you have the technical expertise to handle it, microservices can be a game changer. To sum it up, a monolithic architecture is ideal for small team and simpler applications, while microservices are better suited for large, complex systems that need to scale. It's not about which is better in general sense, it's about what fits your project and business goals. So, next time when someone asks you whether you should use microservices or monolithic, think about the scale of your project, the size of your team, and long-term goals. And don't be afraid to choose the architecture that fits your needs. I have posted this article on LinkedIn. Please find the link in the description below. One more thing I need to say, if you're starting with a monolithic application and planning to switch to microservices later, then you should keep all this in your mind so that while transitioning, it will be really helpful for you. First, adopt modular monolithic principle, means breaking the code into distinct modules. Second, use APIs for modules. Even within a monolith, use well-defined APIs to communicate between modules. And third, decouple the database. Design your database schema with future independence. Thanks for tuning in today. If you find this video helpful, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more tech insight. See you in the next video. Thank you.